We talk a lot about dramatic films and documentaries here during the festival, and sometimes something just comes out and gets right in your face. The Mind of the Demon, the Larry Linkogle story. Adam Barker, the director, and the demon himself, Larry, is here. Guys, thanks so much for coming in.
Thanks for having us.
You know, we do a lot of action sports here at Park City Television, covering snowboarding, skiing, stuff like that. Tell me a little bit about Larry and how you guys met and decided to make this film.
Well, I've done freestyle motocross for years. You know, right when that sport started, I got a job with the very first X Games and, you know, doing behind the scenes and also doing documentaries. So I had known of Larry from like the very earliest days. There was even a contest before the Vegas one that got all the fame. And in every sport, there's just that one guy that, you know, just knows how to get media attention one way or the other, and it was Larry. And the sport really started from a punk rock roots. I mean, it had a harsh breakaway from racing, and, you know, they really had to define themselves. And, you know, there was a spark that made it happen, and it was Larry. And I didn't even really know him personally back then, but I just loved going to contests or whatever demos there were, because it was just a matter of time before he did something outrageous. Like every time, I'm like, this guy is a character, you know, and he would be just, you know, off the cuff, you know, with the interviews and everything else. So, cut to, you know, a few years later, the sport's really taken off. You know, X Games blows it out of the water, everything else, and slowly, you know, Larry just kind of disappears, and the sport keeps going. And I continued on. I got a TV show on Fuel TV, and so I've stayed with it the whole way. And then just out of nowhere, you know, I was out at a shoot at Jackpot Ranch, which is the biggest jumps there are, and from like zero radio contact for like 5 years, here's Larry out of nowhere on this beat up bike, and he's ready to hit everything. And, you know, it was just immediate, like, what have you been doing, dude? What is going on?
Let's fill in the blanks of what happened there. And Larry, let's you know, talk with you. You know, as Adam said, one of the pioneers of freestyle motocross. How did you know, make that transition? What made you say, you know what, I want to take, you know, I want to get off I want to stop going around in circles, and I want to really just push the limits?
Well, to be honest with you, it's a lot of different things. I'm not a competitive person, so as far as winning or titles or trophies or fame, like that really means absolutely nothing to me. And I can't stand the politics that are involved in sports, like pretty much all sports. Look at, you know, like how free skiing is. You know, today it all started from slalom and all that, and people being so uptight, yuppie. Motorcycle scene was that. You can do this, you can't do that. You have to be a certain way. You have to do this. You have to act like this. It's just complete lameness. So, me as hating to do laps, because I hate having to train and then race and just be competitive. It's like the only thing I enjoyed on a motorcycle track was hitting jumps. So figure, why don't I just cut out all the turns that I have to go through, because they're a waste of time and energy, and just use all that dirt to make a bunch of giant hits. And then basically just progressed into that. But, you know, just like every sport and every industry, you know, everybody's afraid of change and new things, and you know, they didn't like that. Shut me down in a lot of ways. It blew up, and to make a long story short, I took my rebellion to a whole nother level. And I guess, you know, you live and learn from your mistakes, but I wound up sinking into I had the I don't care attitude, and it really spun me completely out of control into, you know, not that I don't just care about the industry or these people, and, you know, the shock value of, you know, flipping everyone off and hating the industry turned into you know, being a blatant drug addict and then, you know, spiraling into a complete.
We went way up.
We went way down,
Yeah.
just like on the track. Let's take a look at the trailer for this, because I think it really shows, you know, just the number of people that, you know, you've influenced and touched and worked with, and it also shows, you know, some of the highs and lows, both action-wise and life-wise. It's Mind of the Demon, the Larry Linkogle story.
If you really want to be the best, and if you want to push yourself to that level, you're going to be hurt. You're going to be in pain.
You can't get through some of the pain that we endure without having painkillers.
They'll be taking 40, 50, 60 Vicodin, Norco a day.
We did not know that he was using painkillers to ride when he was injured, and we did not know the extent of the problem.
A lot of anger, a lot of mood swings. Yeah, a lot of anger.
I mean, I remember doing tours and being around Larry. Like, it was almost kind of like a light switch. Like, is it Larry or is it Link?
And Larry pretty much just disappeared. You know, he went on a bad one, and you know, he was basically turned into a criminal.
Hi, Dad. I'm recording you.
And just from there, you know, you saw, you know, this film covers both the family. Your ex-wife makes an appearance, your parents, and the people that were in the industry, Carrie Hart and Travis Pastrana,
Jeremy McGrath.
Yeah, so I mean, obviously you've had an influence on all of their careers, but you know, like so many pioneers, the glory, you know, doesn't always go to the early adopter. Adam?
Yeah, it was, and you're right. And it was easy to grab all those people because everybody was involved in, you know, that start of freestyle motocross, and it is that in the way that it's Dogtown, but it's channeled through Larry, which you can really connect the dots the whole way through. So we did get the Jeremy McGrath to represent the race angle, but at the same point, the whole way through, as you were kind of saying earlier, is it was important to us to not make this a fluff piece. And when I first started working with Larry, I go, look, everybody in our industry that's from the early days knows about you, but nobody knows who you are. And I go, if we're going to do this, we're not going to do a highlights reel. And this wasn't just me saying it. This was our conversation. He's all, absolutely. And I go, at times, you're not going to look like the best character out there. I mean, let's get the opposition, because as many friends as you have, there are people that want to car bomb you, you know, straight up. And so we took that attitude as we approached it, and just dove in, and really the project just got a life of its own. And what came is, like, I gave myself a time limit. Oh, we're going to knock this out. We both became obsessed with it. It just kept growing naturally, and you know, it's a film that I'm really proud of. You know, I rarely say that because we're just so critical of ourselves. I'm going to take a moment and enjoy. We're not at X-dance. We're at the actual Slamdance, and here we are. This is going to be a great week. And
you're at X-dance as well.
Yeah,
though,
we're
right?
at X-dance, and I'm not downplaying that, but that was easy for us.
But it's more, right. Basically what you're saying, though, is this is more than just an action sports film. This is a film.
Absolutely, and I love X-dance. I'm not trying to spell that out like that, but we made a personality movie that happened to be on dirt bikes instead of a dirt bike movie that had a personality in it, and that was our goal from the start. And the fact that Slamdance, which is a festival I've gone to as a fan for years, and I don't go to many festivals, but I've always gone to that one and Sundance as well. You know, to be in there, it's like finally like cool. You know, appreciate.
Well, where can people see the film this week?
They can see it at Slamdance. We're playing January 23rd at 10 a.m., and that's going to be a good one. The owner of Vans is here helping us do all the street marketing. Actually, speaking of which, we got tons of product. We're going to be just hustling the streets. I wanted to give you this.
Awesome.
Very limited. It's a Larry action figure.
Look at that. That is money right there. You know, most filmmakers bring like a little pin, you know, to put up. Action figure. That is fantastic.
And when you got the owner of Vans doing your street marketing team, we've got you know, we're just coming at this thing full force. And if you notice on there, the back of the head has Larry's back of the head tattoo.
Yeah, there
which
it is.
Really fit our title, Mind of the Demon. So
yeah, you know, the demon's not me. The demon is basically what the film's about, and the demon is what's the dark thing lurking in every single one of our
And,
our closets.
And sometimes, sometimes it comes out. Sometimes it doesn't. Adam, Larry, guys, thank you so much for coming in. Best of luck at the festivals.
Festivals.
Because you're in both. So thanks again so much for coming in.
And X-dance is January 24th. There, got it.
There, got them all in.
Thanks,
Mind
man.
of the Demon, the Larry Linkogle story. We'll be back with more right after this.